Hello, welcome back to our Filter Truth podcast. This is your host, Grace. Let's continue with something not quite right season or quite off season podcast series. So let's begin with season 5, and I'm also going to be doing season 6 and 7 together also. Season 5, The Eye Between Worlds. Episode 1, Between Frames. A filmmaker noticed extra films and recorded footage. The frames show events that didn't happen. Slowly, footage reveal alternate realities. Someone appears only between frames. The figures look directly at the reviewer. You are not being observed, or you are being observed now. Episode 2, The Watcher. A security analyst detects unexplained camera movements. Cameras track subjects without input. Footage show angles no device could capture. A pattern emerges, the same observer across feeds. The observer reacts to being noticed. Observation and knowledge. Episode 3, Cross Lives. Two strangers share identical memories. Three lives begin overlapping. Events happening to both seamlessly. They meet and realize divergence. One version faded from existence. Conflict resolve. Episode 4, The Observer Effects. A scientist proved observation changes outcome. Experiment shows reality shifting under scrutiny. Results varies depending on awareness. Removing observation stabilizes results. Someone continue observing anyway. External observer detected. Episode 5, The Choice of Sight. A subject can perceive multiple realities at once. Each perception alters their environment. Conflicting realities overlap dangerously. They must choose one version to keep. All others collapse instantly. Perception locked. The takeaway from season 5 is the system is not just correcting reality, it is watching it. Observation itself is part of the control mechanism, and something beyond the system is observing everything. We see you because something else is watching us. Season 6. Signals are called noise. Episode 1, White Noise. A sound engineer detects pattern inside static. The noise repeats at irregular intervals. Filtering reveals structure, audio fragments. The fragments form partial sentences. One phrase becomes clear, we remember. Signal identified. Episode 2, Signal Hunters. Online communities begin tracking similar signals. Users share recordings across location. Patterns align globally. A central signal source is theorized. The network is abruptly cut off. Connection terminated. Episode 3, The Language of Static. Decipher recurring pattern noise. Static begins forming syntax. Messages describe events before they occur. The language reference observes. The linguist replies through generated noise. Response detected. Episode 4, The Broadcast. A signal overrides all devices worldwide. Each listener hears a different message. Some hears warning, other hears truth. Other listener records a constant message. The message states you were erased. The broadcast origin unknown. Episode 5, Silence collapse. A signal suddenly stops. Static disappears entirely. People begin losing fragments of memory. Without signal, nothing is retained. A final recording plays back as silence. Signal lost. The twist to season 6, or the take back, is the signals were not interference. They were attempt to communicate from what has already been erased. Silence is not absent, it is suppression. If you can hear this, you still hear. Season 7. The final code. After the silence, it's quiet now. Not the kind of quiet you learn to question, just quiet. You spent all the time listening for what was missing, the second that disappeared, the moment that didn't align. You thought something was wrong with reality, but it wasn't. It was just adjusting to protect you. You were being kept in, you were being kept safe. But safe has a cost, and you notice the system doesn't need to hide anymore. You notice, and that's enough. This was the threshold. You crossed it. You still here. That's interesting. You stayed. You heard something underneath. It was the silence was covering. There's nothing left between you and it. It knows that it doesn't need to stay quiet anymore. You're listening the right way now. Thank you for listening to the podcast series of Something Quite Not Right or Off. This is your host, Grace, from I Filtered Truth podcast series. Stay tuned for new episodes and new seasons